I look at him sometimes and imagine him at 6 years old. Was he always so fragile, weak, and retarded? And I think in another life, some other context, might we have been friends?
They knew that the fraud they were wishing to perpetrate on the American public couldn't last any longer. Here was the plan. Let me set it out for you. Here's the plan. They knew Biden had terminal cancer. They were going to run him as a Trojan horse through the 2024 election. Hope to rig the election again, right? If you can get him close enough, you can get the margins close enough, you can pull a 2020, right? Cover up all the windows, little blips in the middle of the night. They still did it, right? But they couldn't get big enough margins in 2024. And with Joe Biden and his debate performance, which was really the whole mask off moment for the greater American public, this audience obviously pays closer attention than the public writ large. But that debate performance was the end. The goal was to drag Joe Biden with terminal cancer into a second term. And then when nature takes its course, again, God forbid, we're not wishing this on anyone. It's just the reality. All these doctors are saying it's terminal, it's done, it's in his bones, it's Mets to the bones. Then you install Kamala and you get your first BIPOC woman president. Don't ask him what a woman is, but it's Kamala. And that's how you usher in 100 years of communism in this country. That was the goal. These people are real sick. They're monsters. And ladies and gentlemen, there's a massive cover-up that's going on right now. Apparently, all of these cabinet meetings is coming out that they were scripted. And we have proof of that. So they would like edit the tape. They would like go through and everyone would read lines at the cabinet meeting. They were scripted out like a Hollywood movie. Maybe that's what Ari Emanuel was doing. Anyway, here's his brother, an oncologist, Zeke Emanuel, giving up the ghost and saying, we all knew that Joe Biden had cancer when he entered office. Biggest scandal in American history. Here we go.
You're an oncologist, obviously incredibly respected. You believe that it is likely, just for those just tuning in, you believe it is likely if this prostate cancer has spread to the bone that he could have had it for up to a decade, but certainly it's likely. Would it be fair to say it's likely to have had this for at least several years?
Oh, more than several years. You don't get prostate cancer.
So again, I just want to stop you. So this is not speculation. If you have prostate cancer that is spread to the bone, then he's most certainly, you were saying, had it when he was president of the United States.
Oh, yeah. He did not develop it in the last 100, 200 days. He had it while he was president. He probably had it at the start of his presidency in 2021. Yes, that I don't think there's any disagreement about that.
There's no disagreement about that. Well, this is bombshell. This is a bombshell revelation from Emanuel here. But he just says it glib, off the dome. He's just like, yeah, totally. We installed a guy who had terminal cancer. When you go back and look at some of the tape, it becomes quite clear how they were treating Joe Biden. This is my favorite one. There's too much, and we can't spend the entire show on this. There's too much tape to go through. We did an entire 3-hour show yesterday on it, where you can clearly see that what's happening is they're covering up something atrocious in Joe. Now, once again, the cancer treatment that is very common for prostate cancer causes brain fog, mental shortness, inability to have stable bone function, inability to have any muscle growth as a man. In fact, you have muscle atrophy because that's where all the testosterone in your body naturally, the testosterone builds muscle, builds bone, creates frailty, falling, slipping, both mentally and physically. Isn't that what we had for 4 years? Isn't it obvious that they set up a cancer treatment center in Wilmington, Delaware, and in Rehoboth Beach? And that's why Joe Biden was sneaking off there every single weekend? Isn't it obvious that that's what was going on? As you saw Joe Biden have so much weakness just going up the stairs. That's why they brought in the short stairs. It's like everything clicks into place. But then this, man, this is the footage, man. This is the clip. Thanks for stopping on that. Thanks for stopping on that Jill Biden screeching moment. We used to just laugh at this, but now we realize that it's total elder abuse. And guess what? Members of the Trump administration are coming out. Members of the Trump Department of Justice are coming out saying Jill Biden needs to be charged with elder abuse. This is after Joe Biden was incapable of answering questions, made no sense during the debate. Watch how Jill Biden treats him. We'll get to this article in just a moment. Watch how Jill Biden treats him. And, you know, the wives always know. And this is Jill Biden protecting a terminally ill husband. Now, when you lock it all in, it makes perfect sense. Jill's treating him like he's in hospice. Here we go.
You did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the... And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Lie! Yes.
Yeah, bro, not a great look when your wife is having to go out and do that. Also, men, careful who you marry. Just a signpost on the road to misery. Don't marry wretched, wicked, left-wing babysitters of your kids, which is what Jill Biden is. She's the babysitter, and she's always been the babysitter, and she continues to be the babysitter. Maybe this is her curse, right? What Greek was cursed to roll the stone up the hill and to keep rolling it forever and ever and ever into eternity? That's Jill Biden. What's the name of that Greek? Is Sisyphus? Is that it? Yeah, this is Jill Biden is the modern day Sisyphus. She's the babysitter, and she's now the babysitter. Always the babysitter, forever the babysitter. This is Sisyphus. She's having to roll the stone up the hill. Jill Biden at this scripted meeting, the last cabinet meeting, in the humiliation that was, and the fakeness, the literal fake administration, illegitimate and fake presidency. Here's Jill Biden taking over for Joe. I don't think this has Joe Biden's clip in it. It's so sad. Joe just reading from a script. Now what's coming out is that they literally went through and scripted all of the exchanges here, and they would go back and they'd cut and splice together clips from the cabinet meetings. This is why they didn't allow press. This was the last one. See if you can spot it.
She talked about the fact that sometimes the White House, in her words, surprises you. And for somebody who has worked on women's health issues for her whole career, frankly, as a teacher, but also as the second lady and now as the first lady, she said one of the things that struck her the most was the inequities in medical research, funding for medical research for women. So this is an important priority of hers that she had the opportunity to at this cabinet meeting to spotlight. And as you...
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't need to hear the news report. I wanted to see the actual raw clip of this. It's so sad to see. And the Biden administration does rightly need to be horrified of this. James Comer made huge news last night saying that he's found the people who functioned as Joe Biden inside of the administration, saying that he found the users of the auto pen, those who were in charge of it, that they're going to be bringing them in for subpoenas and questioning. We'll see. Trump official says Jill Biden could be charged with elder abuse as more scathing details about Joe's health emerge. An official inside the Department of Justice, a friend of the show, the great Leo Terrell. Boy, let's book Leo, please. But Leo's freaking awesome. Leo Terrell, working there in the Civil Rights Department of the DOJ, says elder abuse, criminal charges. He works for the Justice Department Civil Rights Division, senior counsel to the Assistant Attorney General. He shared a post that featured a photo of Jill Biden sitting at the president's desk in Air Force One. She knew about President Biden's health problems. She wanted him to run for president. Very evil. It is. It's the opposite. It's the opposite of love. This is the opposite of love. It's parasitism. It's being a parasite. It's abuse. It's illegal. Terrell, former Fox News contributor, posted the message, personal social media account. He also reposted the supportive messages he received in the wake of the controversial post on X. Elder abuse is a form of domestic violence, and Jill Biden has a lot of explaining to do about her part in covering it up, wrote one supporter. I would never wish Joe Biden physical harm, of course. And despite my personal political views, too bad his own family compromised his well-being. The president's wife took most of the criticism. Joe Biden posting a photo of his wife last night holding a cat. Again, a signpost, young men, on the pathway to eternal misery. Don't marry liberal cat ladies. Joe Biden has taken advantage of Joe and is in the process of doing just the single most humiliating thing, which is just like riding it to the very end to get as much fame and glory as she can. It's a total sickness. It's completely evil. His medical teams should have caught this years ago. Shame on Jill and all who turned their heads and ignored this. Well, they did catch it. Jill Biden was part of the cover-up. She's greedy, another Terrell follower wrote. She wanted the prestige. I'm sure somebody paid her well. You know, a slush fund. Somebody who would be able to call the shots. Third term. That's right. They're mentioning how Barack Obama openly opined about how he'd love to have a third term where there's a little earpiece in the president's ear and he could just do whatever the hell he wanted. I'm all for a full-scale investigation into this. It's something that, of course, needs to happen because we can't have this happen again. If they are able to run this one op, they'll be able to run op after op after op. They'll be able to do this again. They'll figure out a new way to do it. They already tried to do it with Kamala. Fake presidency, fake installation. And unless like you punch back, unless you bloody the nose, unless you make someone taste their own teeth a little bit, then you're just going to get it again.